This is wrong. This is 100% wrong. Period. End of story. Wrong. I'm going to address this video and this comment separately. From the looks of this is a high school football player. Judging off of what my knowledge base was as a high schooler, not saying anything about Jasper, I didn't know my ass from my head in strength and conditioning. That's me personally. So if the latter is true, why are we having people that don't know what they're talking about give advice for strength and conditioning? It's like not an RN giving advice about doing RN things. You can get hurt with plyos super easy, much easier than weightlifting, much easier than bodybuilding, and honestly, much easier than CrossFit. And I'm not going to bring it upon myself to be the strength and conditioning police, but people need to look at what they're posting before they're posting it. The video itself says, why are you not doing plyos? You can do it with no equipment. Why don't you just do it? Without direct context, I agree with that 100%. I think you should be doing plyos. Then Mr. Jasper comes into the conversation to a person that asked a question and says, you don't really need to progressively overload. It's not effective for plyos. And again, this is not on the creator. I will address that separately. But this is false. This is 100% false. It is false with the research that is out. It is false with opinions. It is false with anecdotal evidence. It is false with coaches on the ground. It's just false. So what I'm getting at, if you're a high school athlete, professional athlete, college athlete, please don't get your advice from high school athletes. Judging off of where I was in high school, I don't know about Jasper, but I wouldn't take any advice from me. So here's a simple way to progressively overload plyometrics. Because the stuff in the videos that the creator is doing, not everybody can do. I can do them, but I've been training for 20 years. So without getting into the weeds, into different planes of motion, different movement patterns, this is how you should progress your plyos. Number 1, work on your landings. Step off the box, land perfectly, toes forward, shoulder width. Make sure you can absorb force with no pain, without any of your knees moving, without your ankles caving, without your arches and your feet collapsing. Master landing first. Then after landing, you can go to what's called jump and stick plyos. Now we're stepping off the box, sticking the landing, pausing, then re-accelerating vertically. After you master jump and stick plyos, now we can go to repeatability plyos or touch and go plyos. Now you step off the box as soon as your feet hit the ground. The floor is lava, your heels shouldn't touch the ground. You are bouncing like a spring or bouncing like a bouncy ball. These are very high level plyos. And you cannot go from never doing plyos to touch and go plyos, high intensity, high velocities. You will get hurt because progressive overload does work for plyos. Once people acquaint themselves with strength and conditioning, you finally realize that progressive overload is not just with weights. Find a textbook, read up about progressive overload.